Sigmas, if you've ever walked into a room and felt the tension shift like a cold breeze, like your very peace-made people squirm, you're not imagining things. The reason? Sigma males are a threat to the social order most people rely on. While others play games for attention or approval, you don't engage. You don't react. You move with purpose, in silence, and that unnerves people, especially the manipulative ones. Psychologically speaking, this makes perfect sense. According to the social dominance theory in psychology, people who seek power and control often rely on predictability and group dynamics to manipulate outcomes. But Sigmas don't fit into those patterns. They're independent thinkers who can't be controlled through shame, flattery, or peer pressure. So what happens when toxic or evil people encounter a Sigma? They get exposed. Your quiet confidence becomes a mirror to their insecurities. Your independence threatens their need to dominate. It's like throwing a wrench into a machine built on control. And that's exactly why you'll start noticing strange behavior. People may gossip, undermine you, or even try to bait you into reactions. Why? Because your silence speaks volumes, and your presence disturbs the illusions they've built their lives around. So buckle up, Sigmas. We're diving deep into the 8 things evil people do when they recognize who you really are. Get ready. This isn't just self-awareness, it's power. Number 1, they spread rumors to undermine you. Evil people rarely confront you directly. They slither in through whispers and gossip. Like shadows creeping along the wall, they prefer subtle sabotage over open confrontation. Why? Because confrontation takes courage. Gossip only requires a coward with an audience. Once people realize you're a Sigma male, quiet, confident, and self-reliant, their alarms start ringing. You don't play by their rules, you don't seek validation, you don't participate in their social games, and worst of all, you're respected for it. That drives manipulative personalities insane because it exposes what they lack: inner stability. The smear campaign usually begins with subtle jabs. He thinks he's better than everyone else, or he's too quiet, probably hiding something. These phrases are psychological tactics rooted in social manipulation. According to research in social psychology, smear tactics often target those who deviate from group norms, especially those who possess high-status nonconformity, a term used to describe individuals who earn respect without seeking it. What they fear most is not your success, it's your influence. If people begin to admire you, the manipulators lose control. Their power depends on perception. So they'll attempt to poison the well before others can drink from it. It's not about destroying you. It's about dismantling the image of you. Here's the twist. Sigmas don't need to fight back with words. Silence, when rooted in confidence, becomes a weapon. Studies on communication suggest that silence during conflict often signals strength, not weakness. It forces the other party to fill in the gaps, and often they reveal more about themselves than you ever could. So let them talk. Let them twist stories and spin rumors. Their noise is just confirmation that your presence is powerful enough to shake their false sense of control. Because when insecure people whisper, the world eventually notices who's actually making the most noise and who's standing still, unmoved. And that, Sigma, is why your quiet defiance is your greatest shield. Number 2, they try to bait you into conflict. When they can't control your mind, they'll try to control your emotions. This psychological tactic is more common than most people realize. Manipulators, narcissists, and toxic individuals often rely on emotional control when they find they can't influence you logically or mentally. If you remain composed and logical, like many Sigma males are known to be, they'll switch tactics. Why? Because emotional responses are powerful and often unpredictable. They can throw you off balance, make you act out of character, and hand control over to the provocateur. This tactic is rooted in what's known in psychology as emotional manipulation. It involves using sarcasm, guilt-tripping, gaslighting, or passive aggression to provoke an emotional reaction. These strategies are designed to bypass your reasoning mind and activate your limbic system, your emotional brain. When that happens, the manipulator can say, "See, I knew you'd blow up," and paint you as unstable or overreactive. But those who master stoicism, who control their inner world, don't play that game. And this is where Sigma males thrive. They're not just silent for the sake of mystery. Their silence is tactical. They know the value of walking away, of refusing to react, of keeping their internal peace sacred. Psychologically, this is known as emotional regulation, the ability to stay grounded and respond rather than react. In fact, studies in neuroscience show that people who regularly practice self-discipline and mindfulness have increased activity in the prefrontal cortex, the brain's center for decision-making and rational thinking. That's why staying calm isn't just a personality trait, it's a trained skill backed by biology. When you don't give toxic people the reaction they crave, you starve their control. You force them to confront their own noise while you remain grounded in your own power. It's not weakness, it's wisdom. It's not apathy, it's strategy. So remember, the next time someone tries to bait you with disrespect disguised as humor or criticism dressed as concern, don't react. Observe, breathe, walk away if needed, because when you keep your peace, you've already won the battle they tried to start. Number 3, they copy you, then criticize you. This one's wild, but all too real. Ever notice how some people who claim to dislike you somehow end up dressing like you, talking like you, even posting the same kinds of things you do? It's not coincidence. It's mimicry wrapped in denial. At the root of this strange behavior lies a psychological phenomenon known as reaction formation. It's when someone outwardly expresses disdain or criticism for something they secretly admire or desire. They don't hate you, they hate that they can't be you. Your originality threatens the mold they're stuck in. You walk alone confidently while they need validation. You move in silence while they can't go a day without broadcasting their every move. This contrast unsettles them, but instead of asking how they can grow, they copy you and then mock you to protect their ego. Psychologists also point to mirror neurons, cells in the brain that activate both when we perform an action and when we see someone else perform it. These neurons are tied to imitation and empathy. So when someone observes your aura, your poise, your confidence, they subconsciously begin to reflect those traits. But if their ego is fragile, admiration transforms into envy, and envy morphs into sarcasm, criticism, or fake indifference. You'll hear comments like, "Why are you always so different?" or "You think being quiet makes you deep." But don't flinch. This is textbook projection. They're trying to shame you out of your authenticity because it reminds them of what they lack. Sigmas, you are the blueprint. You don't follow trends, you set them. And that scares people who rely on imitation to survive. While they trace your outline with shaky hands, you keep drawing new lines, forging new paths. So laugh, not out of arrogance, but out of awareness. You're not just being watched, you're being studied. And what they can't recreate, they try to ridicule. Let that be your confirmation. Keep moving, keep evolving. Number 4, they isolate you socially. When toxic or manipulative people realize they can't control you directly, they often resort to a more insidious tactic, trying to control how others see you. It's a psychological strategy known as triangulation, where one person manipulates a relationship between two others by controlling communication or perception. It's commonly used by narcissists and individuals with antisocial tendencies. Here's how it works. They start spreading rumors, sowing seeds of doubt, or quietly excluding you from group interactions. This passive-aggressive exclusion, sometimes called social freezing, is intended to isolate you and make you question your worth. They assume that by cutting you off from your environment, they'll weaken you. But for Sigma males, this tactic usually backfires. Why? Because Sigmas are hardwired to operate independently. Unlike alpha males who often thrive on group validation or beta males who seek guidance, Sigma males flourish in solitude. Psychological studies on introverted leaders, including research from Harvard Business School, have shown that individuals who are comfortable working alone are often more innovative and effective in high-pressure environments. Sigmas fall into this category. They're self-starters, deep thinkers, and highly introspective. So when manipulators think they're punishing you by excluding you from the crowd, they're actually handing you the peace and space you need to thrive. That isolation becomes your incubator. It's in the silence and solitude that Sigmas often do their best thinking, planning, and growing. Think of it this way. While others panic in the quiet, you strategize. While they seek approval, you master your craft. When they use rejection as a weapon, you turn it into a tool for refinement. So next time someone tries to cut you off thinking it'll break you, smile. They've just cleared the runway for your next takeoff. Number 5, they play the victim when you set boundaries. Sigmas are often called boundary kings for a reason. They don't just talk about self-respect, they live it. Setting firm boundaries isn't about being cold or distant, it's about maintaining emotional, mental, and spiritual hygiene. Psychologists affirm that establishing clear personal boundaries is crucial to healthy relationships and personal well-being. According to research published in the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology, people who set boundaries experience less resentment and burnout. But here's the twist. The moment you draw a clear line, toxic individuals don't celebrate your growth. They panic. Why? Because boundaries strip manipulators of their favorite tool, confusion. Manipulators thrive in the gray areas where your maybe sounds like a yes and your I'm not sure keeps the door cracked open. When you say no, they can't sneak through anymore. Suddenly you've changed. Now you're difficult. The villain becomes the victim, but you haven't changed. You've evolved. You've chosen clarity over chaos, standards over settling, and manipulators hate clarity because it exposes them. Like fog burning off in the morning sun, clarity reveals what's really going on. A Sigma doesn't fear that exposure. You know your value. You protect your peace like a lion guards its pride, not with unnecessary aggression, but with an unshakable presence. And the best part, you don't apologize for it, you don't explain it, you don't dilute it. So yes, keep your standards high and your access limited. Let them whine outside the locked door. That's no longer your concern. You're not rude, you're just resolved. And resolution, paired with purpose, is something few people can manipulate, because when you stop shrinking to make others comfortable, you finally have space to grow into who you truly are. Boundary setting isn't selfish, it's self-respect in action. Number 6, they try to sabotage your success. Some people clap when you win, but the evil ones, they clench their jaws and grit their teeth. The moment they see you rising without their help, without validation, without asking permission, they panic. Why? Because your success challenges their belief that you're supposed to need them, that you're not supposed to surpass them. This is where the smear campaigns begin. Whispered rumors, passive-aggressive sabotage, silence when your name is brought up in a room full of congratulations. They withhold support and plant seeds of doubt, all because your growth threatens their comfort zone. But a Sigma male doesn't crave applause. He's not performing for a crowd. Sigmas are lone wolves by nature. According to psychologist Carl Jung's archetypes and modern personality research, Sigma males operate outside the traditional social dominance hierarchy. They don't look for validation from the alpha pack or beta followers. They build their own lane. While others are calculating how to bring you down, you're calculating how to rise higher. Sigmas live by an unspoken code. Let the results speak. They don't flex mid-process. They don't post every step. They quietly build until the success is undeniable. And when success does come, it isn't to prove anyone wrong, it's to prove yourself right. That's the real flex. Knowing deep down that the vision you held, the grind you endured, and the silence you embraced all paid off. Studies on self-determination theory suggest that people who are driven by intrinsic motivation, like personal growth, purpose, and mastery, are more likely to find lasting fulfillment than those chasing external praise. So if you're seeing people clench instead of clap, don't sweat it. Let them talk while you walk. Let them doubt while you deliver, because in the end, a Sigma's path isn't lit by spotlight. It's paved by consistency, purpose, and silence. Number 7, they stalk your life, then pretend not to care. Ever notice how some people seem to monitor your every move, but pretend you're invisible when it counts? That strange contradiction isn't in your head. It's a psychological game often played by envious or insecure individuals who are silently obsessed but too prideful to admit it. Here's the reality. People who secretly envy you often become silent spectators of your life. They'll lurk on your social media, accidentally run into you, or know things you never directly shared with them. Why? Because deep down they view you as a threat, and even more secretly they admire you. Psychologically, this behavior falls under a phenomenon known as covert narcissistic envy. According to a study published in the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology, individuals experiencing envy often mask their feelings while still keeping close tabs on the object of their envy. They study you like a rival, someone whose strengths they want to either possess or diminish. This is especially common when you have traits associated with Sigma males: independence, emotional self-sufficiency, unpredictability, and quiet confidence. These qualities can confuse and frustrate those who rely on social validation or feel the need to dominate group dynamics. Your silence becomes power, your unpredictability, a threat to their control. The truth is, your magnetic presence doesn't need a spotlight. You're not seeking applause, but you still get attention. That's what gets under their skin. Because when someone can command a room without trying, those who crave attention feel destabilized. So what should you do when you feel those silent eyes watching? Simple, let them watch, but don't perform. Don't cater to the spectators. Your energy is too valuable to be wasted on the insecure approval seekers hiding behind fake smiles. Live boldly, move quietly, and remember, being observed doesn't mean you owe anyone a performance. Number 8, they try to dim your light with doubt. When you embrace your Sigma identity, standing strong in your independence and unique path, you naturally make some people uncomfortable. Why? Because Sigma males embody self-reliance, confidence, and authenticity, qualities that challenge the status quo. This discomfort often triggers a reaction from those who don't understand or envy this strength. They try to plant seeds of doubt in your mind, whispering things like, "Are you sure you're doing the right thing?" or "You're too much. Tone it down." This tactic is a classic form of psychological manipulation called where someone tries to make you question your own perception or judgment. The goal? To shake your confidence and control your behavior. But here's the key truth. Your self-belief isn't a flaw or a problem. It's your power. Sigma males don't wait for external validation. They don't need permission to lead their own lives or confirmation that they're on the right path. Their strength lies in their unwavering commitment to their purpose and values. Studies in psychology show that people with high self-efficacy, meaning a strong belief in their own capabilities, are more resilient to doubt and setbacks. Sigmas exemplify this by refusing to let others' opinions derail their journey. Instead, they use doubt as fuel to sharpen their focus. So let those who try to dim your light choke on their own uncertainty. You've made peace with your purpose, and that peace is unshakable. Keep shining, keep moving forward. The world needs your unique energy more than ever. So Sigmas, now you see the playbook, the whispers, the games, the fake compliments, the attacks in disguise. Evil people fear what they can't control. And Sigmas, you are ungovernable. You don't bend, you don't beg, you don't belong to the herd. And while that makes you a target, it also makes you unstoppable. Let the snakes hiss. You walk barefoot through the garden. Let the fake ones whisper. You move mountains with silence. Let the world misread you. Because in the end, the only one who needs to understand your path is you. If this hit deep, Sigmas, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to join this unstoppable community of lone wolves. We're here to live with purpose, power, and peace. No apologies. Until next time, stay true and stay Sigma.